Hi guys, welcome back to the MakerStack channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at Uizard. It's a new tool that basically takes your hand-drawn wireframes and turns them into interactive prototypes and generates the source code as well. Now this is the first in a series called First Glance, where we take a look at new no-coding tools, walk through their main features and help you decide if it's something worth exploring for your own projects. So let's get right on with it. Let's get into Uizard. So we'll get onto the platform, the tool itself, in a few minutes and have a look through its features and see what it can actually do. But first of all, let's just take a look at the home page, and here we can see their messages that they want to speed up your workflow. And I think that is genuinely the key selling point or spotlight feature of Uizard, which is speed and speeding up the process going from hand-drawn wireframes through to an actual coded prototype. And it can be used on apps and websites now. And yeah, here they are again, just really pushing that point forward about speed and iterating really quickly, and validating ideas should only take seconds. Testing and iterating over multiple solutions with your team has never been easier. So I think who's going to benefit from this kind of tool would probably be design teams, of course, but also product teams and coders as well. But I can see this really being useful in design sprints, where you're kind of limited to having to narrow down to just the one app or website prototype that you then go on and test with users by the end of your design sprint week. I think with something like Uizard, you could actually take multiple prototypes forward to be tested, because it can literally just be so easy to, in a matter of minutes, turn hand-drawn sketches into interactive prototypes. So let's take a look now at the platform. Okay, so when you log in, this is the starting point within the tool. I should just add that Uizard is currently in private beta, so you do have to go to the website and just sign up for access. They're pretty quick in turning around access to the private beta. You should only have to wait a couple of days or at the most a couple of weeks, and then you'll have access to the platform. And the first screen that you see is really centered around the section on the left, which has various sections and tabs that you have access to. You can create with the My Organization section. You can create your own organization, your own company. Down the bottom here, by the way, there is a team tab here, so you can set up members of your team with various different access permissions, and can control access to so that everybody can see the same designs and prototypes as everybody else within your team. Prototypes is the main section within the app, and it's where you create new prototypes, and those will always be stored there, and you'll always have access to any new prototype that you create here. Themes is a really interesting section. It's where you can create themes or almost design systems or design sets that, or style guides, I guess, that will that you can apply to any prototype that you create within Uizard. So there are a couple of default themes here, and I've added one based on MakerStack's colors and fonts as well. So if we just click into that, you can see that you can create your base colors, primary, secondary, and then other sort of black, dark gray, light gray colors that go with your theme. You can create the whole typography set for paragraphs, for captions, for header, for title, and for subheader. And it's really easy just to go in here. You just click on the section here. So I've chosen header. You can call it whatever you wish. You can choose the font family. They've got quite a big range of fonts here, actually. Plenty there that I haven't even heard of. And the font weight as well. And you can set the size, the line height, letter spacing, You can set whether it's all uppercase or all lowercase, and you can set the font color as well. That's the typography. Then on to buttons. So with buttons we have the ability here to add as many button styles as we wish. I've just created this one, these two rather, which are using the Maker Stack green and the black. But you can style the button itself in terms of padding. You can control the border radius. So if I wanted to make that more rounded, such as that, I could, but I'm keeping it at sort of a rounding of 10 pixels at the moment. You can click and drag, or you can type in the rounding value here, the radius value here. Again, typography options and text colors, background color for the button, border and shadow as well can be added if you want them. I've got them turned off at the moment, but super easy to turn on if that's part of your style set. And you can also, although I haven't set it up here, set up hover and pressed states. So that'd be particularly useful if you're prototyping a website, and you can create different hover and pressed states, particularly the colors. You'd want to change those in line with standard sort of design principles. You have image types here. So I've got a standard image, which is this one, but I've also got a circle image, which can be used with sort of profile images, that kind of thing. We have navigation options here. So the navigation header can be given a color, a font, border, and a shadow. A navigation footer can be given a color as well. So why don't we show you what that looks like if I give the footer a background color of color green, and I'm going to turn off shadow there. You can see various form components here. So form components such as input fields, switches, a radio button, checkboxes, that's all there and very easy to edit. Very same sort of principles apply, or options apply. And finally icons. So you can set what your standard icon looks like, or if it's a button icon, you can attach different styles to it. And you can have standalone or as a button. And yeah, it's pretty extensive actually, and it's a really quick way once you've got this set up. And I'd recommend doing this before you pretty much do anything else, although you can leave it till later on in the process. But it's a good first step just to get your theme established from the beginning. So let's click on back now and go into the prototypes section. Now here we can look at an example prototype, which could be useful if it's the first time you're coming to the tool. We're going to start with creating a new prototype. First of all, we have to give it a name, so let's call it the Maker Stack demo. Then you can choose a target device for your prototype. So it could be a mobile app prototype, it could be a desktop, it could be a desktop website as well. You have either option. The desktop's pretty new to Uizard, which is itself a new platform, but we're going to stick with mobile. And then finally you choose your theme for the prototype. You've got a couple of the default themes here that you can use. I'm going to use the one that I've created for MakerStack. So click on create, and that takes you through to the main platform here. So this is what it looks like. You have a main canvas section here where you can upload hand-drawn mobile wireframes, or you can drag and drop them in. Over on the left-hand side is a menu here where you basically control various parts of the prototype. So the layout, the typography, You can control buttons or add in buttons. You can bring in images, navigation, form components, and finally icons. Now all those are things that you would drag and drop in to your designs once they've been uploaded and have been magically transformed into prototypes. So along the top here, we're in the edit section at the moment. The prototype section we can look at once we've added some designs. That allows you to interact with it. You can also leave comments, or other team members could leave comments within the design to collaborate. You can see the code that's been output as a result of your prototype being created, and you can go into play, which allows you to see what you've created and allows you to interact with it as if it were on your phone. So let's carry on with, first of all, drawing some wireframes. Now, before you do that, one thing I definitely recommend is looking at the sketching guide. And there, the Wizard algorithm and technology behind all of this is pretty good. And I think they publicly try and aim for around an 80% accuracy rate, which is a massive time saver in its own right. But something that would definitely help with the translation of going from paper wireframes to actual digital designs is following their sketching guide. And I'll give you a guide in terms of how to draw various components of a particular wireframe. And I think this is just a really useful guide to get used to. Tells you if you want to draw text, or you can do it with scribbles or lines or written text, how to draw images, all of the various ways that their image recognition technology works. We'll look for this kind of sketch, and it will help it recognize it much more accurately. So definitely have a look through the sketching guide, and it's available just down here where you can access it at any time. So let's go on to draw some wireframes. So there we go, very basic wireframe sketch done there, but we can use that just to illustrate and to explore how Wizard starts to take that into the platform and translate it into a design. Okay, so to import the sketch that you've just done, you can either do it from the platform here, or you can do it from your phone. If you've taken the photo of the wireframe from your phone, you can just go to app.wizard.io, log in there, and you'll be able to upload straight from your phone. I've got it on my laptop, so let's just click on here, and we can go straight to the sketch and import it. And here we go, there's the sketch, it's processing. And here we go. Okay, so at first glance, it's not bad at all, is it? You can see that it's translated or it's managed to recognize a lot of the components and images that I included in the wireframe sketch. So we have the menu bar, we have the title, the name of the app. It's got the profile image here, and then the simple 3 rows of an image, circular image, followed by some text and a checkbox. For some reason it didn't recognize this as a checkbox. So let's go in and change that. Literally just click on it, go to the component over here on the right hand side, go down to checkbox, and that quickly resolves that. And then down here we've got the button. So it's recognized quite a lot there, which is quite impressive and saves you a bit of time in whatever other tool, whether it's in Vision or Figma or one of those kind of tools that you could be using to create a prototype wireframe. So I think the magic really happens here, and you can see what this would look like as on a phone. But what we haven't done yet is to make any of these, any part of the phone actually link to any other wireframe. So there's no actions or events that have been created yet. So, and I think that's really quite exciting once we start to be able to do that. So let me just show you the pre-supplied example prototype that comes with Uizard, just for the sake. So here you've got 3 wireframes that have been turned into designs. And the interesting thing here is that you can start now to link the various components together, so that if you press on a button, where does it take you within the prototype? So if we click on prototype, that's where you can make this happen. I'm just going to increase the zoom here a little bit. But for any given prototype, you just click and hold, and you can link it through to wherever you want it to take the user of the prototype. And that's all been predefined here by all these yellow arrows, but it's literally as quick as just clicking, holding, and pointing to where you want the user journey to be mapped out. And then you can click on the play tab here and start to see how that looks. So for example, if I click on this image here, it takes me through to this more detailed page here. I can click on the button, and it takes me through to this page where I can see actually which components I can then use which are available to click on. I can go back, come up to the menu, and you're starting to see there that in the matter of minutes, I've got a sort of high definition prototype, interactive prototype. It's really quite impressive, and is something that I think is definitely going to be useful for everybody to sort of save time on turning around these interactive prototypes. You can also go to code. So if you obviously you can go into the particular prototype and edit it after you've imported it, and you can add different components. So for example, in fact, you can actually create what they call an empty artboard. So if I come over here, I've just added an empty artboard, and now I can start to add various components into that. So if I come to, for example, navigation here, actually let's do some form components. So I could bring over various components here, and you can start to build it out. And under templates is actually where it gets really interesting. So if you go to lists and bring over that kind of list, which is the one line with these buttons here, and then you've got various forms that you can bring in. So you can bring in a payment form. You could create a login screen. So literally creating a login screen would be as simple as adding an empty artboard, coming over to that screen. Here's a sign up form. Do it with a login form, and it's as simple as that. And you've immediately got a sign up form that once somebody signs up, you can link that through to the rest of the prototype, and it's super simple. The great thing is you can then go into, well, you can use that as it is, as an interactive prototype, or you can hand it over to your developers with the code. So for example, if we want to see the HTML and CSS files code, we've got all of that here already done. We've gone from literally pencil sketches to code within the space of a matter of minutes. You could look at it in React. Let's bring that up. So here's the JSON package, and they've also got it ready for React and CSS, React and style components, Vue and CSS, and Angular as well now is catered for. So it's a really quick way to hand that over to your developers for them to start turning that very quickly into an actual app. But it'd be good to sort of run this by some users and start using it as a test to validate your ideas. So there we go, that is Uizard. So there we have it, there's Uizard, a very quick look at the overall key features of Uizard, and I think I have to say my first impressions of it are that it's quite an amazing tool that is a massive time saver, going from sketches through to interactive prototypes with code ready to hand over to the dev team. So it really does, I could see it adding a lot of value in design sprints where, as I said, you can now start to explore and test multiple app ideas and website ideas because you're not being constrained by the need to use or learn new tools like InVision or Adobe XD. You can now just output multiple interactive prototypes very, very quickly. Yes, there are some various UX snags and bugs or missing features that I think the team will no doubt be adding to very soon, and I'll be feeding back any comments I have back to the team because it's still in private beta. They're looking to get as much feedback as possible, but I do recommend, if you're a designer or you're a product person or you are even an engineer, coder, looking to see how this kind of tool works and look at the quality of the code that is output, that you take a look. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how Uizard grows and develops over the coming weeks and months. So that's it today, guys, on the MakerStack channel. If you did like the video and you're liking what we're putting out here, it's early days for us, but I'd really love it if you could subscribe to the channel and add any comments you have onto below here, and let me know what you think of Uizard or of the channel or the videos, or how we could improve. Really need to hear your feedback and any other tools that you'd like to see us review and take a look at. That's all for me today, guys. Thanks very much. Bye bye.